Stephen King just became the most censored author in America, and the reason will blow your mind. According to ABC News reporting on PEN America's explosive new study, King's books were banned 206 times across U.S. schools, with Carrie and The Stand leading the charge. But here's the kicker: he's not being targeted for horror content. Expert Casey Meehan reveals districts are so terrified of punishment, they're sweeping up King's books when hunting for LGBTQ content and racial themes. Florida alone banned over 2,000 books, with counties specifically targeting King during compliance reviews. The master of horror is getting caught in culture war crossfire, proving that book banning has spiraled completely out of control. We're literally living in two different countries now. Some states protecting books, while others wage war on literature. King's 87 affected works show how fear-based censorship destroys even beloved mainstream authors. This isn't about protecting kids anymore, it's about silencing voices through intimidation and overcautious panic.
Academic publishing is drowning in AI fraud, and scientists are screaming for help. The Guardian just dropped a bombshell investigation revealing that AI-generated garbage is flooding scientific journals, while publishers rake in massive profits. Dr. Mark Hansen from University of Exeter warns the entire research system is losing credibility as fake studies multiply faster than anyone can catch them. Scientists are literally begging for urgent reform before public trust in research collapses completely. The term AI slop perfectly captures what's happening: low-quality machine-generated content masquerading as legitimate science. Publishers are prioritizing profit over truth, creating a crisis that threatens everything from medical research to climate science. This isn't just an academic problem, it's a public safety nightmare. When fake research influences real-world decisions, people die. The investigation exposes how broken the peer review system has become when algorithms can fool experts. We're witnessing the potential death of scientific integrity in real time.
Book Talk is promoting books so disturbing that readers are literally quitting mid-page, and experts are sounding alarms. Horror author Monique Snyman just released a shocking analysis revealing that viral Book Talk books like Playground by Aaron Beauregard are causing readers to abandon them on page 46 due to extreme content. But this isn't just hype. These books feature industrialized cannibalism, government torture experiments, and graphic violence that's genuinely traumatizing readers. Tender is the Flesh normalizes human meat processing, while Intercepts depicts sensory deprivation torture so brutal it breaks minds. The most disturbing part? Book Talk's algorithm is pushing these extreme horror novels to unsuspecting young readers without proper warnings. Snyman, a Bram Stoker Award nominee, emphasizes that trigger warnings aren't enough when social media promotes nightmare fuel as entertainment. We're watching a generation discover extreme horror through viral trends rather than informed choice. The psychological impact of these books is real and lasting, yet they're treated like any other Book Talk recommendation.
Self-publishing just exploded by 300%, and traditional publishers are panicking about losing control. Authors Publishing House announced they're desperately expanding services to meet unprecedented demand as indie authors abandon the traditional gatekeeping system. This massive shift represents the biggest disruption to publishing since the printing press, with authors keeping 70% royalties instead of the measly 10 to 15% traditional publishers offer. The numbers don't lie. When authors can reach readers directly through platforms like Amazon KDP and social media marketing, why split profits with middlemen? Traditional publishers built their empires on scarcity, controlling distribution and discovery. But Book Talk creators now have more influence than literary critics, and authors can build audiences without begging for acceptance from New York elites. This 300% surge isn't just a trend, it's a revolution. Publishers who spent decades rejecting diverse voices are watching those same authors become millionaires independently. The power dynamic has completely flipped, and traditional publishing's stranglehold on literature is finally breaking.
Thomas Pynchon just broke his decade-long silence with a new novel, and the literary world is losing its collective mind. The LA Times confirms that the legendary reclusive author, who hasn't published fiction since 2013, is releasing his first new work in over 10 years this October. For context, Pynchon is so secretive that most people don't even know what he looks like. He's the literary equivalent of Banksy. His previous novels like Gravity's Rainbow and The Crying of Lot 49 are considered masterpieces that predicted everything from internet culture to surveillance capitalism decades before they happened. Literary scholars have been analyzing his work for 50 years, and now they're getting fresh material to dissect. The timing feels prophetic, given our current political chaos and technological anxiety. Pynchon's paranoid fiction always seems to predict reality. Publishers are treating this like the literary event of the decade because it literally is. When a genius hermit breaks silence after 10 years, you pay attention. This could be the book that defines our current cultural moment.
The Trump administration just declared war on scientific publishing, and researchers are terrified about academic freedom. Inside Higher Ed reports that federal agencies are targeting academic publishers as part of a broader attack on scientific research, with officials calling book banning concerns a hoax, while simultaneously removing hundreds of books from military school libraries. This represents the most serious threat to academic freedom since McCarthyism, with government officials actively undermining scientific institutions. The Department of Education ended Biden's investigation into illegal book bans while launching their own campaign against un-American thinking in academic publishing. Scientists warn this federal scrutiny could destroy the peer review system and international research collaboration that drives medical breakthroughs and technological innovation. When governments attack academic publishing, they're attacking knowledge itself. The timing is terrifying. Just as AI fraud threatens scientific integrity from within, political persecution attacks it from without. Researchers face an impossible choice between scientific truth and political survival. This isn't just about books anymore. It's about whether America will remain a leader in scientific research or become an authoritarian state that suppresses inconvenient facts.
Graphic novels just achieved literary respectability, and the publishing industry is scrambling to catch up. Yahoo Finance reports that graphic novels have seen a significant rise in popularity and change in reputation, transforming from comic book stigma to legitimate literature that libraries and schools actively promote. This represents a massive cultural shift that's reshaping how we define serious storytelling. Publishers who once dismissed graphic novels as children's entertainment are now desperately signing comic creators and adapting prose novels into visual formats. The success of works like Mouse, Persepolis, and Fun Home proved that sequential art can tackle complex themes like genocide, revolution, and identity with sophistication that rivals traditional literature. Book Talk has accelerated this trend with visual storytelling perfectly suited to social media promotion and younger readers who grew up with digital media. Academic institutions now offer graphic novel courses, and literary prizes include visual narratives. This isn't just format evolution, it's a fundamental change in how stories are told and consumed. Traditional publishers who ignored this medium are losing market share to companies that embraced visual storytelling early.
Taylor and Francis just threatened legal action against critics, and the academic publishing world is erupting in scandal. Retraction Watch reports that the major academic publisher is using legal intimidation tactics against an online group making allegations about their practices, revealing how publishers silence criticism through lawsuits rather than transparency. This represents everything wrong with academic publishing when companies prioritize legal threats over addressing legitimate concerns about research integrity. The fact that Taylor and Francis chose intimidation over investigation suggests they have something to hide about their publishing practices. Academic publishers have operated like cartels for decades, charging universities massive fees for research that taxpayers already funded while suppressing criticism through legal warfare. This legal threat comes at the worst possible time as academic publishing faces unprecedented scrutiny over AI fraud, profit margins, and access restrictions. Scientists depend on these publishers to share research, but when publishers use legal threats to silence critics, they undermine the entire scientific enterprise. The academic community is watching to see if Taylor and Francis will continue this intimidation campaign or address the underlying concerns about their practices.
Emily Henry's new novel is secretly exposing the dark side of biography writing, and Book Talk is obsessed. Facebook's Friends and Fiction group reveals that Henry's Great Big Beautiful Life follows Alice Scott, competing to write a biography of mysterious heiress Margaret Ives, uncovering secrets, scandals, and unexpected truths that mirror real publishing industry corruption. This isn't just another romance. Henry is using fiction to expose how biography publishing exploits wealthy subjects and their families for profit. The timing is perfect, as unauthorized biographies flood the market, with publishers racing to capitalize on celebrity deaths and scandals without family consent. Henry's massive Book Talk following means millions of readers are discovering how biography publishing operates like vultures circling tragedy for commercial gain. The novel's focus on competing writers reveals the cutthroat nature of literary biography, where authors manipulate sources and fabricate access to secure lucrative book deals. Publishers love biography scandals because controversy sells books, regardless of truth or family trauma. Henry's genius lies in disguising serious media criticism as romantic fiction, making her Book Talk audience think critically about publishing ethics while enjoying a love story. This could spark important conversations about consent and exploitation in biography publishing.